Does your furry friend take over your bed every night? It's time to reclaim your space while giving them the comfort they deserve with the coldest, cozy dog bed. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to buy now on Amazon.
TV star Amanda Holden's daughter Lexi was admitted to hospital with life-threatening E. coli, one of the first to be struck down in the latest outbreak. Lexi, 18, sitting her A-levels at the time, was on a ward for 5 days with Amanda and husband Chris at her bedside. Here, Amanda warns others about the ongoing outbreak. For about 3 weeks, Lexi had been complaining of bloating and stomach cramps. She was not happy at all and in quite a lot of pain with her tummy. It was around the time of revision and her A-levels, so I was just putting this down to exam stress. Eventually I took her to the GP, who was beyond brilliant, and they insisted on taking blood samples and stool samples too. Within a few days, the results came back as a bacterial infection. From here the cultures were sent off to where they would be grown to determine what bacteria it was and what antibiotics to put her on. Meanwhile, I was in Spain filming and began getting calls from various government officials because we had to fill out various forms about what and where she might have eaten, what kind of food we had in the house, etc. But we were still clueless as to what this thing could actually be or where it had come from. The cultures came back saying it was E. coli, a very harmful strain of bacteria that's very rare in humans. At this point, there'd been nothing on the news about this and so we could not work out how it had happened. Our doctor was asking if we lived on a farm or had any livestock because this sort of infection is affiliated with farmers. I was even having our rabbits and cat checked, panicking she'd perhaps caught something from them. The doctor advised that Lexi cut meat and dairy from her diet, but she's vegetarian and doesn't eat dairy. She couldn't be a healthier 18-year-old. No one could work out where it had come from and, by this time, she was on her 3rd set of tests. Suddenly it started to get worse and the antibiotics they'd put her on did not seem to be working. I was driving back home one day and I had Holly, my youngest, in the car with me when the doctor called and said, "I don't want to alarm you, Amanda, but Lexi's bloods and everything else are through the roof. You need to check that her temperature doesn't rise because she's in danger of contracting sepsis." Poor Holly could hear the conversation and burst into tears, whilst I was trying to stay calm. Obviously, when you hear the word sepsis, it's terrifying. Lexi was feverish in bed with chronic bowel pain. I'm sitting there just thinking, oh my god, what a week this is turning out to be. Lexi, a straight-A student, is literally in the middle of her exams. So that night I slept with her and took her temperature every hour, on the hour. In the morning, I spoke to my friend Pippa, one of the wonderful midwives who delivered our gorgeous stillborn boy Theo. She was the one who got me through all of that trauma and grief, and she advised us to rush Lexi to hospital. We went straight to Northwick Park Hospital, which specializes in tropical illness and bacterial infection, and we had the most incredible team there who put her on an antibiotic drip. I was in hospital all day with her and then my wonderful husband Chris would take over. I was getting about 2 hours sleep a night, but all I cared about was Lexi getting better. I was filming Britain's Got Talent live shows during this time and, had the situation worsened, I'd have had no hesitation in pulling out of the show. Simon, Alicia and Bruno were all brilliant, so supportive. Lexi, meanwhile, was panicking and very distressed about her exams. She had a temperature of 39 point something and was deliriously hot. It was awful seeing her in so much pain. Eventually, we were told Lexi was the 113th case in the country, but the doctor warned us this was tip of the iceberg stuff, and more cases were to come. Gradually it started dripping into the news. We kept it quiet at the time because we didn't want to cause mass panic and we didn't know for quite some time what we were dealing with. Plus, we didn't want to draw attention to Lexi. She has now suggested we share her story to help raise awareness. The brilliant hospital got her through the worst of it. She was finally let out after 5 days, but she's been back and forth since for more blood tests because her inflammation